Leading scientists are pleading with Theresa May and Jean-Claude Juncker to avoid a no-deal Brexit, which they say could damage British and European research. In a letter signed by 29 Nobel laureates, it called for the flow of people and ideas across borders. It comes as the British Prime Minister dismissed demands from Brussels for a separate backstop agreement for Northern Ireland, increasing the chances that the UK will crash out of the EU in March without a deal in place. Well, for more on this, we're joined now from London by Vincent McAviney. Good morning to you, Vincent. What exactly was in this letter from those Nobel scientists?
Good morning, Belle. Well, these 29 Nobel scientists and 6 field medal winners as well say that the funding and also the flow of people and ideas will be severely affected by Brexit because the UK so far hasn't struck the kind of deal that Switzerland has managed to do on science. They think it's something that's been neglected. And Sir Paul Nurse, one of those scientists, highlights that the stable environmental technology that we need, food chain, all of those modern industries rely on this kind of research, and then they create jobs, the kind of jobs that Britain will need in a high-tech future. They also highlight a survey done in one of the London institutes, the Francis Crick Institute, which does biomedical science. Of the 1,000 scientists there, 40% are from EU countries, and 78% of them say they are less likely to stay in the UK because of this. But also, when you include all of the British scientists in that, over half say that they are less likely to stay in the UK because they think there could be as much as £1 billion of funding lost through this. Now, Sir Paul Nurse says, of course, Britain will be able to keep on doing science, but right now it is the destination for science. He says it is the top of the research tree, and that position is now in jeopardy.
Vincent, another difficult day for Theresa May yesterday in Parliament. Where does she now stand after the common statement that happened yesterday?
That's right. The Prime Minister took to the House of Commons yesterday to update MPs on her progress or lack of progress in Brussels last week. Let's have a little listen of what she had to say.
Mr. Speaker, taking all of this together, 95% of the withdrawal agreement and its protocols are now settled. There is one real sticking point left, but a considerable one, which is how we guarantee that in the unlikely event our future relationship is not in place by the end of the implementation period, there is no return to a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland.
Now, Theresa May said that new protocols had been agreed with Spain on Gibraltar and with Cyprus on the UK's bases there, but she said the Northern Irish issue is still the one to sort out. She spoke also about the extension of the transition period, trying to sell it to her MPs as it being a way of getting around this whole issue of the backstop, saying that she didn't want to use the full extension, but having the possibility of a couple of months would be very helpful, because in the 18 months that they've got currently until the end of 2020, that might just not be enough time. It's something that even the Trade Secretary Liam Fox, quite a strong Brexiteer, agrees with. But there was a strong feeling from Brexiteers on her own side that any kind of extension to that wouldn't be acceptable, that we'd be caught in Brexit limbo, it would cost us, and it might go all the way up until the next election. Jeremy Corbyn did criticise the Prime Minister quite heavily, but what was interesting is that he didn't mention the protest here in London, the hundreds of thousands of people, some 700,000 we think, that marched through the streets, because the Labour frontbench didn't tweet or didn't go on that march. So the Prime Minister still could get some cross-party support for her deal, but at the moment it seems the biggest threat is from her backbenchers. We know that they are making her go to the 1922 committee tomorrow afternoon. That's the Conservative Party's internal committee, to plead her case with them, and it's thought that she might be as few as 2 letters away from a motion of no confidence being passed and a serious threat to her leadership.